The Hisense PT1 is a new ultra short throw laser TV projector that acts as one of the newer models you can pick up from the brand. I'm no stranger to Hisense's short throw laser TVs, as this version marks the 6th product I've reviewed from the brand to date. However, as each model has entered my house, I've noticed Hisense improving on every aspect of the technology, and the latest PT1 is no exception. The PT1 is likely the brightest projector unit I've reviewed and has the best HDR I've seen to date. Of course, this is an ultra short throw projector, and Hisense tries to refrain from even using the word projector in its marketing because the company wants you to see this technology as more of a TV than anything else. It makes sense given the features that it offers, but the truth is, this projects an image, so to me it is a projector no matter how you try and spin the story. Hisense says that the unit doesn't really need a screen to function properly. The brand recommends using its Hisense ambient light rejection screen for the best results, as it provides the best quality and brightness. But you can also get away with using a very smooth wall, and even better if your wall is light grey, as it complements the projector. The company also provides installation for the screen if you purchase it, and I recommend you take up that offer because installing it yourself can be a bit tricky. Not because it's difficult, but unlike a TV that you just unbox and place the unit down on your TV stand, these screens are mounted to the wall, so you need to drill holes for mounts and get it up onto the wall, while also taking into account the distance between the display and the projector unit. Thankfully, the screen isn't that difficult to assemble. I did the whole thing myself, but I did have to drill new holes into my wall to move the screen up further compared to the previous laser TV unit I've reviewed last year. But once you have your screen up, be it by getting Hisense to install it for you or you doing it yourself, setting up the PT1 is simple, but it can be tedious and quite time consuming. That's because calibrating the unit relies on firstly making sure that your TV stand is low enough to the floor to not overshoot the projection, and secondly adjusting the feet to manage the angle of the projection. Thirdly, you'll need to make sure that the screen and the TV stand are perfectly in sync when it comes to the middle of the screen and the unit. Essentially, it relies on a lot of aligning up and moving and fiddling and adjusting graphs and feet to make sure that everything is aligned perfectly on the screen. This can all take quite some time, but Hisense has included some tools to help. There's an auto calibration system that doesn't actually work as well as it should. Often it would result in the image being completely angled in the wrong direction, and I had to sit and manually adjust the corners of the image to align it. But after a while, I finally got the image to be somewhat perfect with the display. Just don't expect to install the screen, flip a switch and start watching movies straight away. You'll need some time to calibrate this unit, and heaven forbid you move the TV stand or knock the unit and it goes out of sync, you'll have to redo it all again. As for the Hisense PT1 unit itself, it is the cleanest laser TV unit I've seen from the brand. Hisense has stitched all the rounded corners and surfaces for a clean rectangular box that looks incredibly premium. On the front, you'll find some mesh that hides away the speakers and a clean gold-like trim around the edges. The two sides of the mesh also have two white LEDs underneath that glow ever so slightly and add a bit of design flair to the unit. The right-hand side includes a rounded button that can be used to power on and off the unit. There are also loads of vents all over the shell to help with cooling. We all know how hot projectors can get, so it's important that there's lots of ventilation here. Underneath the unit, there are 4 feet that can be tightened and loosened to raise and lower the unit. They come in handy to adjust the tilt of the projection if your TV stand is lower or if your screen ends up being a bit off to the angle. Then in terms of ports, the Hisense PT1 includes 3 HDMI ports on the back. 2 of these are simply listed as ultra high speed and the other is listed as 4K 60Hz. There's also a USB 3.0 port, Ethernet and optical audio out port. You'll also find a USB 2.0 port on the right hand side under the ridge. The unit is then powered by a figure 8 power connector, which is great to see. I remember reviewing these laser units back in the day when they used those fat kettle plugs. It just goes to show how far we've gone here. Once everything's calibrated and set up and aligned, it doesn't take long to set up the whole system because it runs Vida and you can quickly sign into your account and even skip everything and go straight to the home page to jump into whatever you want to do. I did some calibrating here on the unit to improve the general image quality and turn off all the brightness limitations. The PT1 doesn't have the most settings in the world to tweak because, again, this isn't a TV, but adjusting some settings did help prevent it from dimming in darker rooms, and there's also a new brightness override setting that pumps up the projector's brightness to some impressive levels. General performance on the PT1 was pretty impressive. It is the brightest, most accurate laser TV I've reviewed to date, and it makes everything you watch and even game on the TV look fantastic. This unit is an adaptable laser TV, meaning it can be projected onto a display between 80 and 150 inches, so there's a bit of room for scaling your screen to fit its needs. It promises up to 2500 lumens of brightness with a full native 4K resolution and HDR. The screen I reviewed this unit on was 120 inches. A big selling point of this projector is the leading technology Trichroma triple color LPU digital laser engine, which helps produce more accurate colors, and the 110% B2 2020 color gamut. I have to say that when it comes to the color accuracy, I've noticed the improvements right away. Usually these laser projectors always tend to sway into one color tone more than anything else due to the way the lasers work. However, the LPU engine has seemingly perfected its color balance now, and this was honestly the most accurate I've seen yet. As a result, the content just looks better than ever with colors matching the intended tones of the content. There's no sign of an overly cool color tone here and the typically overwarm palette either. It just really creates some great results. But HDR content was especially great to see. It resulted in accurate colors and some decently bright specular highlights all across the content. But the real showcase for me was probably the contrast ratio on this laser TV. Usually projectors give this strange glow to those dark areas. Like you can see there's an obvious projection taking place. However, the PT1 was just the opposite. The black levels on this laser TV unit are very impressive. They create rich and black deep levels of which I just haven't seen on a laser TV unit yet. Altogether, this LPU system really elevates the visual experience to above and beyond what we've experienced in the past. There's a little bit of everything, and it seems Hisense has improved on the technology in every way to make it just the best and brightest laser unit yet. Then there's gaming. Upgraded to 4K 120Hz, this laser TV provides some excellent gaming performance. Input lag is around 30 milliseconds, which is remarkable for a projector. And then seeing 4K 120Hz games also makes the unit feel more modern and ready for whatever console or PC you're plugging in. Granted, the brightness levels for gaming aren't ideal for my personal preference, but you kind of expect that from a laser TV unit like this. Last off, the Hisense PT1 includes its own sound system and it works. The speakers are quite loud even if they don't pack much power, but I can't say they are bad by any means. They lack decent bass and have a sort of overly high-pitched tuning, but if you really don't care about surround sound, these will be ample for your setup. In the end, I think the Hisense PT1 laser TV is probably the best the brand has made so far. It delivers the next level of performance that I was looking for in past units, but they all sort of missed the mark in some way or another. With an adaptable screen size and some powerful technology, this PT1 could make for the perfect large format display in your house or gaming room, and you'll be surprised at just how often you'll mistake this for a good TV. So those are my thoughts on the Hisense PT1 laser TV projector. Are you looking to pick one up or have any questions? Let me know in the comments down below. I recently reviewed the 100-inch Hisense U7Q mini LED gaming TV and I thought it was a great TV. Be sure to check out that review. I also reviewed the Hisense HT Saturn sound system, which was a remarkable sound system for what it offers. I'll leave links to those reviews in the description down below. Until next time, farewell.